You know, it's funny when you ask about a hero for a Christian or especially for a religious. You know, of course, that's a word from a Greek pagan background, and it suggests a kind of triumph of the human spirit. So I suppose the right answer for me would be to say St. Augustine, you know, because in Augustine there's a great humility about the fact that we really only accomplish great things with God's grace. And that's a very fundamental attitude from a point of view of a priest and a religious, that with God many great things are possible, but without Him we can't do very much. Of course, you know, one can see a lot of great triumphs of the human spirit in the arts or in culture and sports and that kind of thing. But I mean, Augustine had the humility. He was the most brilliant man of his generation in the 4th century. And he had the humility to turn himself over radically to God and to put his mind and his heart at the service of very simple people in Hippo, in North Africa, where he was bishop, and to spend his life really as a servant. He gave up a great career in law and politics and in Rome to pursue the gift of himself to other people. And that was a lowliness he could only acquire by grace. Oh, I think Flannery O'Connor is a very deeply spiritual, theological voice. I mean, she said in one of her letters that she's writing stories about how people receive grace who don't have sacraments. And a sacrament she studied St. Thomas Aquinas' thought, and in St. Thomas, a sacrament is a sign and instrument of God's grace, a visible sign and agent. So in Flannery O'Connor, what you have is a world, people described it as grotesque, but it's a world in which God's grace is being communicated as almost as if by violence, sometimes through violence, in signs that are instrumental. And the whole world becomes a kind of epiphany of the mystery of human sin, but also of the human capacity to love, transformed by God and really radiant with the glory of Christ. There's an amazing depth to her fiction. Of course, I'm Georgian, so I'm prejudiced about that, I think.